The sharpest sword is useless in the hands of the blind. Let that sink in for a second. Right now, the world feels like any other day. The sun rises, the clock ticks, the world spins. But beneath the surface, something massive is stirring. The portal 2222 has cracked wide open, and it's not just a number, it's a force. An invisible gate that shifts reality itself, bending the rules in ways that most people will never notice. But here's the thing about invisible forces. They don't need your permission to change your life. Imagine walking through a forest, leaves crunching underfoot. Everything feels peaceful. But just beneath the soil are traps, hidden snares ready to snap shut the moment you step wrong. That's today, April 22nd, the 4th month, the 22nd day. Slice that 4 in half, you get 2 2s, doubling the power, doubling the danger. 2222, a mirror of energy pulling in every thought, every action, and magnifying it. This isn't just woo-woo talk. This is an energetic landmine. The tiniest misstep today could send shockwaves into your future. What feels like a harmless thought, a small choice, might just reroute your entire destiny. And most people, they'll walk right into it, blindfolded, whistling, thinking it's just another Tuesday. But you found this message for a reason. The universe doesn't play dice. You're here because you're meant to see. And I'm here to help you avoid the 8 spiritual mistakes that could chain you to a life you were never meant to live. But first, do this. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments. Let's spread this message like wildfire. Someone out there needs this more than you know. Now, before I reveal the 8 traps waiting for you, there's something even more dangerous happening right now. Something millions are already doing this morning without a second thought. But here's the twist. The thing we all do without noticing. Millions are already tangled in it this morning, like stepping into quicksand with a smile. It's your words. Simple, harmless, everyday words. But today, they're loaded like bullets in a chamber. The 2222 portal doesn't just amplify actions, it magnifies the energy of your words. Every syllable, every throwaway phrase is soaked in power right now, echoing into the fabric of your future. Think about that. Imagine shouting into a canyon. Normally, you get one echo back. But today, that echo bounces off every wall, over and over, circling back louder each time. That's what this portal does. It traps your words in a loop. They don't just disappear into the air, they imprint on your reality. So what happens if you casually drop a "it is what it is" today? Seems harmless, right? A shrug, a sign of acceptance. But here's the problem. That phrase isn't just describing your situation anymore. It's sealing it, like wet cement hardening around your feet, locking you into a version of life you never asked for. Because this portal, it's a magnifier of all things, including surrender. Normally, acceptance feels wise, mature even. But today, under the intense spotlight of 2222 energy, acceptance becomes dangerous. It's not just agreement, it's a contract. And if you're agreeing with pain, struggle, or anything that feels off, you're not just acknowledging it, you're binding yourself to it, energetically signing your name at the bottom. So, if something feels wrong today, stop. Don't name it. Don't give it life with your words. What you speak right now will echo back, louder and stronger. It'll loop through this portal and imprint on your future like an invisible tattoo. This is how people get stuck, repeating the same stories, trapped in the same cycles, without knowing they spoke themselves into that corner. Words are spells, and today the magic is extra potent. But here's where it gets even trickier. Words are just the start. There's a deeper loop that pulls people in, a pattern so familiar, most of us can't even see it. We repeat it every day, like brushing our teeth or tying our shoes. And today, this habit could drag you down into a spiral that feels almost impossible to climb out of. It's the loop of reaction, the automatic emotional responses you give to the world. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you snap. You see something on the news, you roll your eyes, feel the weight of frustration. These reactions seem small, but in the 2222 energy field, they expand like ripples in a pond. Right now, every emotional knee-jerk reaction is a stone thrown into still water, creating waves that hit every shore of your life. And if you're not careful, you'll keep throwing those stones without realizing you're flooding your own foundation. This is the silent trap, the spiral that feeds on your reactions, and today it's stronger than ever. But there's a way to break free from it, if you're willing to see the pattern. The first step to breaking free from that spiral, the loop of reaction, is recognizing that logic is not your ally today. The mind, that trusty compass you usually lean on to make sense of things, won't guide you through this terrain. Not today. Today isn't about finding neat answers or tidy explanations. It's about feeling the currents, those invisible emotional undercurrents, the subtle shifts in energy that don't make sense on paper, but are powerful enough to shape the entire landscape of your life. Like standing on the shore and sensing a change in the wind before the storm clouds even appear. If you've felt off today, maybe a sudden wave of sadness or a strange mood swing that seemed to come out of nowhere, stop trying to figure it out. Stop rationalizing. The portal doesn't communicate in facts or logic. It speaks in vibrations, in frequencies that hum beneath the surface of your awareness. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to read the ocean by analyzing every single drop of water. The ocean moves in waves, in tides. You feel its pull before you understand it. That's the energy of today. It moves like a deep sea current, invisible, relentless, unpredictable. So, when something weird crosses your path, a strange encounter, an unexpected challenge, or even an eerie sense that you're not quite where you should be, resist the urge to dissect it. The more you demand logic from the unknown, the further you'll drift from the truth. Because this isn't a puzzle to be solved. This is a wave to be ridden. And here's the kicker. The more you let go of trying to understand, the clearer things will actually become. Imagine standing in the middle of a swirling fog, trying to force it away with your hands. You'll just tire yourself out. But if you stand still, breathe, and let the fog move around you, it eventually clears on its own. This is that kind of day. The chaos isn't broken. It doesn't need fixing. It's alive, and it's speaking in a language older than words. Some storms aren't meant to be navigated. They're meant to be felt fully, deeply, without judgment. And the moment you stop fighting it, stop trying to decode every sign or explain every silence, that's when the truth starts to whisper. That's when the portal shows you what it really is. Not through logic, but through alignment, through that sense of calm that rises up from within, even when the world outside feels like it's spinning. So today, let the energy move. Let it swirl around you. Let it carry you where you need to go. This isn't about knowing, it's about feeling your way through the unknown. And when you trust that, when you surrender to the flow instead of wrestling with the tide, something powerful happens. You start to feel where your own energy ends and where everything else begins. But while you're riding that wave, letting the day swirl around you, there's another trap waiting just beneath the surface. And honestly, it might be the biggest one of them all. Because here's the thing, while the 2222 portal is wide open, energy isn't just gently flowing through the cracks. It's spilling out everywhere. Imagine a dam breaking, and not just cosmic energy pouring through. It's human energy too, emotional energy, anxious thoughts, all that unprocessed, messy stuff that people carry but never deal with. It's out there, drifting like static, clinging to every corner. This is the hidden danger. It's not always about the big emotional waves crashing down on you. Sometimes it's the subtle fog that sneaks in when you're least expecting it, the collective static, the spiritual background noise that lingers in every crowded space. You walk into a busy cafe, thinking you're just grabbing a coffee, but suddenly, there's this weird heaviness sitting on your chest. You join a lively group chat, and somehow, after scrolling for 5 minutes, you feel drained and irritable without knowing why. That's not a coincidence. That's the 2222 field in action. It turns every group space, physical or digital, into a spiritual sponge. It soaks up all the emotional residue, the worry, the stress, the doubt. And if you sit in it too long, you absorb it like water through cloth. Here's the catch. It doesn't always look heavy. Even light-hearted spaces can carry thick frequencies today. A buzzing store filled with smiling faces can feel like standing next to a power line humming with anxious energy. And if you're not careful, if you don't listen to those small shifts inside you, you start confusing their static for your signal. Ever felt that? One moment you're clear, grounded, feeling good. Then, without warning, the fog rolls in. Your mind gets cloudy, your chest feels tight. Maybe your mood drops and you can't explain why. That's the sponge effect. You didn't run out of energy, you got soaked in someone else's. And this is where you have to trust yourself. Trust your body, trust your intuition. If the energy in a room starts to weigh on you, leave. Don't explain it, don't justify it, don't stay because it feels polite. Your field, your clarity, your alignment is more important than anyone else's expectations. Think of it like walking into a rainstorm without an umbrella. You wouldn't stand there getting drenched just because other people decided to. You'd step out, find shelter, protect your space. Today, that's exactly what you need to do. Your energy is sacred. Guard it like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. But here's the twist. It's not just the people around you that can pull you into the quicksand. Sometimes the real trap is the path you're walking. The one you've been on for so long, you don't even notice your feet hitting the same spots day after day. That silent loop you've been following, it's got edges sharper than glass, and today the portal is shining a brutal spotlight on it. Remember earlier when I said that changing one small thing today could flip your entire life? This is exactly where that comes into play. The 2222 portal doesn't just magnify your words, your emotions. It highlights the invisible tracks you've been stuck on. The routes you take without thinking, the habits that feel like comfort but are really chains. We're creatures of routine. We wake up, check our phones, drink the same coffee, take the same roads, think the same thoughts. It's like walking a circle in the sand so many times it becomes a trench. And on a day like today, that trench can deepen into a pit if you're not careful. This is where it gets eerie, because if you stick to your exact usual path today, you might just seal yourself into it. The version of your life you've been quietly frustrated with, the one that feels too small, too repetitive, that life could get reinforced today, like wet cement setting around your feet. All because your body kept following the same worn-out routine. Muscle memory is a funny thing. It feels safe, like a familiar blanket, but sometimes that comfort is really a spiritual cage. And the 2222 portal, it's giving you a rare chance to break that loop, but only if you move differently. Here's the beautiful part. The shift doesn't need to be some grand, earth-shattering thing. This isn't about quitting your job or selling everything you own. It's about the pattern interrupt. Walk a different route. take the long way home, sit in a different chair, eat something new, skip the mindless scroll on your phone. Even the smallest change, done with intention, sends a clear message out into the universe. I'm not stuck. I'm awake. I'm listening. Because portals like this don't respond to logic. They respond to motion. They respond to shifts in energy, to tiny movements that ripple outward into something much bigger. The moment you step off that familiar path, even for a second, you create space for something new to enter. And the universe, it notices. It always notices. So today, as you move through this charged space, ask yourself, where am I walking the same circle? And then break it. Doesn't matter how small. That one little shift could be the key that unlocks a door you didn't even know was closed. Let's go deeper. You've already stepped off the old track. You've felt the shift in your body, in your space, in your energy. But now comes the part most people miss, the part that requires true awareness. Because once you've moved differently, you must also speak differently, or better yet, maybe not speak at all. Today, your silence isn't just golden, it's sacred. Let your silence protect your power. There's something strange about how energy carries words through this portal. It's subtle, like a pressure drop in the air before a storm, or the way a room can suddenly feel colder after someone speaks truth too soon. The 2222 portal doesn't just echo words, it magnifies them, multiplies them, twists them in ways you didn't plan. You say one thing, and it comes back wrapped in someone else's energy, distorted, delayed, or even blocked. That's why you may feel the urge to share something today, a vision, a breakthrough, a quiet dream you've been growing in the shadows, and the moment you say it out loud, something shifts. The excitement fades. The energy that felt electric turns heavy, foggy. That's not a coincidence. That's interference. This portal reacts to vibrations fast, like touching a mirror made of water. Ripples shoot out instantly, reflecting back not just your energy, but everyone else's too. And here's where it gets risky. When you speak sacred things out loud today, you're not just sharing, you're exposing. You're letting the world and its clutter of doubts and fears wrap around something that was meant to be pure. People might not even mean harm, but their thoughts, their opinions, their unconscious energy, it sticks. It clings like static. And before you know it, your clarity is cloudy, your confidence shaky, and your next step unsure. Not because the dream changed, but because you gave it away before it was ready. Think of your vision like a flame in the wind, bright but fragile. Exposing it too early lets the wind snuff it out. But when you cup your hands around it, when you guard it in silence, it grows stronger, steadier. That's your power today. This is a day to keep your magic close. Let it live behind your eyes. Let it pulse quietly in your chest. Don't announce, don't explain, don't even hint. Speak only what is necessary. Let the rest brew. Let it build its own gravity inside you until it's unshakable. Because the portal is listening, and it doesn't always give back what you asked for. It gives back what you released. So if you want to protect your power, protect your words. Hold them like sacred seeds. Water them with intention, not attention. The strongest moves today are made in silence, and the ones who whisper nothing will be the ones who shift everything. But holding that silence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means tuning in deeper. Because right now, as the portal hums and twists reality beneath your feet, something else is trying to get your attention. Quieter than a thought, softer than a sound, it's your intuition. And today, it speaks only once. This is not the day to brush things off, to tell yourself it's probably nothing. Today, every flicker of discomfort, every nudge in your gut, every slight tightening in your chest, That's the message. The portal amplifies meaning, not noise. So, while your mind may chatter, rationalize, dismiss, your body, your spirit, they're dialed straight into the signal. Think of your intuition like a thread of gold woven through the fabric of your day. But the thread is delicate. If you pull too hard, if you ignore it, it slips away, and you might not find it again until this portal closes. The energy today doesn't repeat itself. It offers moments, tiny windows of knowing. And if you're too busy second-guessing, you'll miss the turn. That uneasy feeling when someone smiles but their words hit wrong? Trust it. That sudden hesitation when you're about to say yes to something, but your breath catches for a moment? Trust it. That weird energy when a name crosses your screen and your heart rate shifts. Trust it. This isn't paranoia. This isn't overthinking. This is the precision of your inner compass, the kind that doesn't shout but whispers. And it won't whisper twice. Because here's what most people miss. Your intuition speaks through your body before it ever reaches your mind. Your stomach clenches, your shoulders tense, your throat tightens. But your brain, it tries to explain it away. They didn't mean it like that. I'm just being sensitive. It's probably nothing. But today, nothing is just nothing. If your body reacts, it's real. Ignoring that whisper today is like signing a silent agreement with energy you never intended to engage with. It's like letting someone write a contract in invisible ink, and by the time the words appear, it's too late. If someone disrespects you and you laugh it off, the portal reads that as permission. If your gut says, don't go, but you go anyway, you may walk straight into a field of energy you can't shake off later. So, here's your invitation. Pause, feel, listen, trust. You don't have to fight, you don't have to explain, but you do have to acknowledge the truth of what you feel, internally, silently. Mark it. If it feels weird, it is. If it feels heavy, it is. If it feels fake, it is. Today isn't about solving puzzles or decoding signs. It's about not pretending you didn't feel what you felt. You don't need every answer. But you do need to stop dismissing the ones your intuition already gave you. And just as you honor those whispers within, there's another layer you can't ignore. The space between you and others. Because here's the truth. Their storm is not your mission. It's so natural, almost automatic, to want to reach out when someone close to you is spiraling. When their energy drops, when their words are heavy, when they're leaking emotional static all over the place, your instinct is to lean in, to offer a shoulder, to be the light, to hold space like some kind of spiritual lifeguard ready to dive in and save them from drowning. But today, that impulse is a trap. This portal doesn't just open you up, it opens everyone. And when too many open fields overlap, the energy doesn't just mingle, it scrambles. Frequencies cross, chaos jumps from one person to the next, like static leaping from skin to skin. Their pain, their confusion, their unspoken fears, they're electrically charged right now. And the moment you step in, even with the purest heart, you can get zapped. You think you're being supportive, you think you're grounding them. But in the process, you may become tangled up in something that was never yours to carry. That's the silent danger, confusing compassion with entanglement. There's a difference between holding space and becoming someone else's emotional sponge. And today, that line is razor thin, nearly invisible. You might notice it after the fact. You have a conversation that feels fine in the moment, but afterward, there's this weight sitting on your chest. Agitation you can't explain, anxiety out of nowhere. You were just trying to be kind, to listen, to help, but without realizing it, you stepped into the eye of their storm. Here's the hard truth. You don't owe anyone your clarity today. You don't have to hold their pain just because they're venting. You don't have to soothe, explain, or absorb. Let them ride their own wave. Let them feel their own chaos without pulling you under. Because here's the thing, the portal amplifies everything, not just for you, but for them too. And sometimes the best gift you can give someone is letting them sit in their storm without trying to fix it. Because maybe that's exactly what they need to face. Your protection isn't selfish, it's sacred. On days like today, guarding your energy is the most loving thing you can do. For you, for them, for the path ahead. So if you're waiting for permission to pull back, this is it. You are allowed to step away. You are allowed to let others handle their storms. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to honor your own frequency first. Because that's the only way you'll still have something left to give tomorrow. So, as we close this portal together, remember, today is not just another day. It's a rare moment where small choices shape big realities. Protect your words, trust your intuition, guard your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. If this message resonated with you, let's keep this energy flowing. Like this video, subscribe for more guidance through these unseen realms, and drop the number 77 in the comments to claim your alignment with this portal. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay grounded, stay aware, and keep listening to the whispers.